Last week, while sailing, I heard the dreaded sound of an intermittent chirp of an alarm coming from the nav station. At first, I suspected the freshwater level. I was hopeful that the heel of the boat was tripping the low water sensor. I played a cat and mouse game with that alarm for over an hour until I finally found the source. I was scrolling through the menu and noticed the battery monitor was reading 5.2 volts. My heart sank because I have a high output Balmar Alternator, and I knew that if I didn't act fast, I would face a bigger electrical problem. I immediately shut down the engine and decided to go under sail. Luckily, we were close to the shore and the batteries weren't fried. There was just enough cranking amperage in the start battery to start the engine for the last push needed to dock the boat safely. The next day, I started researching the issue, and most of the forums pointed me to a bad voltage regulator. But the real answer came from Don at Gulf Marine. He asked one simple question: how old are those batteries? Mine are AGMs from July of 2021. Don explained the death spiral of batteries. A failing cell causes low voltage, which tricks the voltage regulator into pushing even more power. It becomes a compounding issue that continues until you fry your batteries, which also puts your electronics at risk. Blake was on the boat the next day to hardwire the sump pump and confirm the news. The batteries were toast. He explained that even if they hadn't failed yet, they were at the end of their reliable service life. I originally wanted to do a lithium conversion, and I was ready to pull the trigger, but a few other surprise projects popped up this week, so I decided to take the easy road and just swap out the AGM batteries and do the lithium conversion at another time. I say easy because it was financially easier, but physically it was daunting. At 75 pounds apiece, swapping out 5 batteries in a cramped aft cabin is anything but a walk in the park. Alright, with this intro out of the way, here's the footage of the actual battery swap. Alright, let's go. Here's what $1,000 worth of AGM batteries look like. From the weight of it, it feels like it's about 1,000 pounds too. I was going to go with the lithium conversion, but right now I have other projects that are going to tax the budget. So we're going to stick with AGM because I can swap them out and be back on the water. And we can just push that project a little further down the road. These will give me hopefully 3 to 4 years of life. And by then, hopefully solar and lithium and all the controllers will be more budget friendly, and I'll make that conversion then.
Most days, I confidently step aboard with an exaggerated step to bridge the 3-foot gap between the dock and the sugar scoop. But here, you can see me rethinking that idea with a 75-pound battery in my hands. With the boarding dock secured, I felt a lot more confident transferring the batteries.
Getting those 4 batteries on the boat was quite the workout. So I'll start with the easier one, which is my start battery. And I just want to get some video of exactly what wires are going to that. This stuff you see right here, I added not too long ago because that's just a temporary power source to the sump pump in the aft bilge. I have the local marine shop going to come over and hardwire this for me at some point in the next 2 weeks. I know they have some bigger electrical jobs. They said they were going to try to squeeze it in when they could. I don't guess I've ever noticed until today, but this bolt and this bolt, or actually the nuts here, are different sizes on the battery. So I don't know why that is, but yeah, it was kind of new to me because I was loosening this one right here on the positive side. I went over here and the socket wouldn't fit. So if you know why they're different, leave a comment down below. I'd like to learn more about that.
I forgot to turn off the AC power, so yeah, I still had power from the battery charger. Whoops.
Alright, the start battery is now in, and true to my research, I found out that this battery was a bit of an overkill for this boat, both in size and code cranking amps. It's more than triple what it needs, so even with this battery here, I'm double what the Jeanneau specs are. So I should be fine, but you see all the extra space here in the battery box, which is the way it's supposed to be. If you look down there, you see the bracket. Let's see, I don't know if you can see it. Right down here is the bracket that's broke because the oversized battery that was in here before actually broke it. And they had it strapped to the top, but it was in there so tight that it wasn't going to move. So now what I need to do is make some shims or some kind of brackets to keep it from rattling around in here and loosening these connections. But yeah, everything I'm showing, this battery should be more than enough. Actually, I think we're in the range of double the crank and amps that is required for this motor. All right, well, let's get ready to change the house batteries here. I want to record and label what goes where because they're run in series here. I don't think this is parallel, right? Let me go ahead and document which lines go where, and I'm going to start changing them. Also, you heard me mention on the other side when I was changing the house battery that they had upgraded because it's probably had a size 27, but they converted to, it does fit a 31, but it's tight. So I'm going to have to change this middle one first and get it out. Then they can slide to the middle because there's some lips here. And so anyways, it's going to be a very specific order to get them in because it is super tight there. And I'm going back with 31s on this side. All right, it's not the prettiest, but I have it labeled either battery 1, 2, and 3, starting 1, 2, and 3. And then I have positive, negative. Should be pretty obvious that they're black and red, but I still went ahead and marked it to keep everything nice and tidy. All right, it's not as tidy as I'd like it, but it's back. All the batteries are in. They're installed and wired correctly because I had labeled them, so I knew which ones were what. It looks like a bit of a mess, but it's all in there and everything's individually secured, so it's not taking a chance of touching another wire or shorting out anything. So we're all done with this project. On to the next.
Well, the project wasn't completely done until I returned the cores back to Sam's for a refund on my deposit. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching till the end and following my journey, one adventure at a time. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Your engagement really helps the algorithm show my videos to a broader audience. Alright, I'll see you next time.